Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Katie Top, obviously. Today's video is going to be slightly different. I'm doing this live as opposed to doing it as a separate video that I upload, or doing it as a group of videos, just because it makes it easier to do it like this. So, one question that gets asked a lot is, what are fidget toys or stim toys? So I decided I'd do a video on what they are. So there's different types of fidgets or fidget toys. I personally call them fidgets. Some of the well-known ones are fidget cubes and the fidget spinner. They were really popular several years ago. But there's all types of fidgets, and I'm going to show you the collection I've got so far. I'm in the process of growing it. So I have this tangle with a little rabbit. This is one of 4 or 5 tangles, and this is literally all you do with a tangle. It's just nice to kind of twist in your hand, and because of its size, it fits in your pocket. So if you're going out and you know that, and you think that you might get overwhelmed, this is ideal, along with a fidget cube, to have in your pocket. That you can fidget discreetly, so then people won't know that you're fidgeting. This is probably one of my most used fidgets, just because of how versatile it is. I can chew it like that. I can suck on it. I can twist it in my hands. I can wrap it around my fingers. I'd say the only thing I don't like about this is the fact that it can be quite stiff sometimes, and it can be quite limited in what movements I can make with it. So I do have to be careful, otherwise I will break it. But that's one positive. If it breaks like that, you just pop it back together. And that means as well that you can combine different tangles together. So if you had a yellow, a blue, a green and a red, you could have a really, really big tangle made up of all the individual tangles. That was my mouse. So I'd give a tangle an 8 out of 10. Yeah, I'd say 8 out of 10. Next, we have this stringy, rubbery worm thing. I've no idea what these are actually called. I got this in one of my fidget boxes. So it's stretchy. You can spin it. Again, it kind of works a bit like a tangle, in the sense that you can it's not quite as restrictive as a tangle, in the sense of I can do a lot more with it. But it's a two-handed fidget, so I can't really fidget with it with one hand, unless I just do that. But one downside to these, they get really, really messy really quick. They pick up anything mucky. So if you leave them on your desk, they'll pick up dust, any glitter if you've been doing lots of crafts, as I found out. Yeah, they attract dirt quite a lot. That is something to be mindful of. Excuse me. Another thing to cautious of, especially with younger children, is if they try flicking them like that, or if you try spinning them, they hurt if they hit you full force. So I wouldn't recommend these for young children, just because they could be used as a weapon. Next, I have this little basketball that's meant to be squishy, but it's pretty naff. Oh, I forgot to. I give this stringy worm thing 6 out of 10. Not quite as good as a tangle, but it's better than nothing. So next, I have this little basketball squidgy. Well, meant to be squidgy, but it's quite tough. This is all you can really do with it. So I give it a 2 out of 10. It's pretty limited. It's not soft enough to actually. It hurts my hands to use, so I never really use it. Next, I have these slap bracelets. They're sequins. So they're kind of 2 fidgets in one for me, because I can fidget with the sequins like that, and then I can slap them onto myself like that, like a bracelet, which means I can take them out with me if I'm going anywhere, because I can just put them on my wrist. I have about 4 or 5 of these. They came in a pack. These are quite useful if I'm needing more of a physical stim, or if I want to self-harm, because I can slap myself. It don't actually hurt, like some do. Sometimes if you slap them too hard, I don't think you can really slap these that hard. The only downside is the sequins can get a bit itchy and they can fall out. So I would rate this 7 out of 10. Not quite as useful as a tangle, but it's still something I use quite a lot. Okay, I've lost half of my fidgets. So this is probably going to be a 2-part video. Next up, we have a squishy bubble ball that's kind of popped. In fact, it is very popped, as you can tell by the shape of it. That's a downside to stuff like this. They aren't that strong. They don't last forever. And they eventually kind of go a bit deflated. So they kind of lose a bit of the purpose. But it is what it is. They can still be used. They're just not quite as good. So I give this a 5 out of 10. It's something I used quite a lot, which is why it's so deflated. It'd be better if they didn't deflate or look like they popped, so you could use them more. And again, like with the slimy worm thing, it gets dirty really easy. So that's something to be mindful of. Next, we have fabric. Just a normal fabric scarf. This is probably one of my favourite fidgets, just because it feels nice on my skin. Not itchy, not sweaty, not quite as nice as silk. but it's a really nice material. I'm not actually sure what material it is. I got this pack of these from Amazon. Again, these are quite versatile, but also limiting. You can use it as a scarf or a thing, or you can wear it as a scarf like that, or as a face covering and pretend you're getting married. Or you can just play with it like I do. So I'd probably give this a 9 out of 10. Excuse me. This, along with my Tangle, my Fidget Cube, they're probably my most used fidgets, and for very good reason. Next up, we have this little poppy ball thing. Ow. Not entirely sure what it's meant to do. Don't know if you can see, but in the middle, it's kind of sponge. It's just nice to have something to hold and press, but it's not like pressing a button, it actually goes in, if that makes sense. So, like that, you can see it goes in. Same if I press them in, and I can roll them slightly, kind of. Again, quite limiting, quite big and bulky. So this probably gets 5 out of 10. Next up, I have fidget spinner. Now, I've never been a fan of fidget spinners just because that's my dog. Just because of the fact that this is all they do. They don't really do anything else. But saying that, I do quite like this fidget spinner. Still wouldn't choose it over my fidget cube though. It's just nice to look at. I also like that it kind of looks like they're bottles. If you look at, you've kind of got the bottle, but so that gets 7 out of 10. Again, it's perfect size to put in your pocket to take with you. I don't know if you'd be able to fidget with it in your coat though. So next up we have this, which is a marble in a bit of, I don't know what material you'd call this, netting maybe. Again, this is quite limiting. This is all it really does. So 3 out of 10. This is what the bubble balls are meant to look like when they're not deflated. But as you can see, it does pick up muck quite easy. Last but not least, to this video at least, we have an infinity cube. The thing that I like about this is it's one-handed, so I could be having a drink and playing with it like I am now. There's no right or wrong way to fidget with this per se. You just make the cube up, and then it opens up to that, and then you put it in half, and it makes a cube again. And then you open it, and it goes back to there. Then you open it that way, and it makes a cube. Hence the name Infinity Cube. The only thing I'm not so keen on is the sound it makes. Because it has so many joints in it, also to keep it all together, it makes quite a plasticky sound. Don't know if you ever had them, but like the little trains that you have as a kid with the plastic wheels, it kind of reminds me of them. Again, it is quite limited in the fact that it just makes a cube. But it's less limiting than some of the other fidgets I've shown, because you know what you're getting when you buy it, if that makes sense. You know it's going to make a cube. So yeah, I really like this. This probably gets an 8 out of 10 along with my Tangle. And I know I said that was the last one, but I've just found one more. This weird thing. It's called a roll over, so it's meant to roll. But mine doesn't work very well. So this is all it really does. It's a makeshift fidget spinner. But apparently, if you take them bits out like that, and you put it on the table, it rolls. Yeah, 1 out of 10. I wouldn't recommend this for anyone. If I could give it less than 1 star, I would. So yeah, 1 out of 10. Absolute piece of garbage. And this isn't technically a fidget, but shells. I like playing with them because of the different textures they have. This one I've got is really smooth. It's kind of a cone shape, whereas this one is quite rough on the sides, but it's smooth on the bottom. And then there's this one which is really, really smooth and shiny. Then at the top gets a bit more rough. And then you have this really pretty pinky red one. Which kind of looks like a mermaid tail. A little bit. Maybe. So yeah, that's pretty much all my fidgets, besides my fidget cube. And a few other things. If I manage to dig them out, I'll do another video and review them. So if you have any questions or there's a specific topic you want me to cover, let me know and I'll see what I can do. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye guys.